Your question can be answered now. Okay.
Regarding this request for bankruptcy, it is the first step in trying to deal with the cost problems, debt problems. But bankruptcy, as we probably all know, is not a solution for East Cleveland's problem. It is a tool. It may help with a couple of very specific things that have been explained to the council, but it's no solution whatsoever. It's not tied to merger. It's not tied to a study. It's not tied to anything. It's a standalone tool that will not solve our problem. It just might help us in a couple of areas, very, very simple. We're asking the council to agree to that. As far as our city services go, we've heard a lot of talk about street lights, and I sympathize with that. Where I live, on my street in East Cleveland, we've had street lights out too. I've had to wait on street light pole replacements. At this point in time, the city does not have street light poles in stock. And it's just one example. We use steel poles in East Cleveland. We order them from time to time. We order them as the money becomes available. We're placing an order now. It'll be several weeks, maybe 2 months before those are in. But this is one of the legacy decisions of East Cleveland. Why do we use steel poles? Because they look nicer than wood poles. So East Cleveland has been doing that for decades. But these poles wear out. And if we put one up and it gets hit by a car or a truck a week later, that brand new pole is done. Our poles go faster than the cities that have wood poles. If we had invested in wood poles instead of just sticking with our nice black street lamps, which we all love, our poles would last longer and they wouldn't go out as fast. Now that's not anybody's fault in here. It's not the city council's fault. It's just something that the city does as a matter of course. But if we had switched to wood poles a while ago, we might not be having all of these problems that we with the poles. So my point is that there is going to be some delay in replacing those street lights, especially the light that controls other lights on the street. You have all the sympathy in the world for me, and we're trying to do it as fast as we can. It gets us to another point, though. It's similar to potholes and similar to everything else that is in need of repair or just outright replacement in the city of East Cleveland. All of these things that you talk about, being in the dark on your streets, having to drive around big potholes, having to deal with vacant and abandoned houses, they are symptoms. They're symptoms of the same overarching problem, and that is the economy in East Cleveland does not generate enough money anymore to pay for all of the things that East Cleveland needs. There are streets that haven't been replaced in 50 years. Nobody on this council had anything to do with the fact that they weren't replaced for 50 years, but now they all need to be replaced. Nobody had anything to do with that. But the problem is that there is not enough money generated by the things that generate revenue from every city in Ohio. The income tax, mainly, and some property taxes. Those things don't generate enough money anymore, and we have to do something about that. And until we do, these problems are going to continue to exist. People are asking us time and time again, night after night, people come to this microphone. People call the council office, people call the mayor's office, people call the police department, and they say, fix this, fix this, fix this. And understand, we would if we could. It's not for a lack of knowing about the problem. It's not for a lack of not wanting to fix it. It's not for a lack of not caring about it. It's not for a lack of corruption. It's not for theft. It's not for the presence of corruption. It's not for theft. It's not for any of those things. The simple fact is that the economy in East Cleveland that cities rely on to generate revenue is not generated. And we can come up to the microphone every day, and I know it makes us feel bad when we feel like our city just is not doing something. But understand that the city just, at this point in time, because of money that's just not there, the city can't do things. And it will continue not to be able to do things unless we change, not the individuals. You could replace the entire council. You could replace the mayor. You could replace all the police. You could replace all the firefighters. It still will not fix the economic problem, the things that are supposed to generate money in a city. All that replaces that is if we get more people who work, we get more residents who make more money, and the property values go up. Thank you. And I promised my daughters I would put them to bed. I tried to stay for the whole meeting. I think they can see that. But their bedtime is 9 o'clock.
All right.
So thank you.
Now, when we gonna reach, guys? Limit ourselves 3 or 5 minutes.
We'll take 3. Okay.
Sorry, Mark.
I rise to speak briefly. In 2017, first of all, let me start positively. We got a young man who got the Bill Gates, Millennium Scholarship, and he's got a bright future. We got the Shaw Band that's going to be on Good Morning America tomorrow, and Brother Melton at the cleanup. I got a call Saturday on the cleanup. He called me at the last minute. May 19th, unfortunately, the same day, we got the county prosecutor coming out here, the new county prosecutor, Michael O'Malley, at the library. We're in the Greg Elridge Performing Arts, newly elected. Well, when he cast the ballot in November, he'll be. So I'm inviting you to come out. I wish you would have consulted me about this, because we've been meeting for the last 2 years every third Thursday, but it's just one of those things. I got to take care of that, because I jumped on him about the fact that he got 70% of the black vote in Cleveland County. He had to come out here and thank us. So he's coming out here, and we're going to have a reception. But I do want to say this. This is the reality. 1 million has to be cut in 2017, no matter what you say to me. 2.5 million got to be cut in 2018, and we're history. University Circle has not stepped up to do a lot more than they can. We have an issue that we're going to have to deal with, and the revenue ain't going to get it. Unless we get some revenue in here, get people to move in here and buy these houses, get more employees, we're not going to exist. And if you are focused and watch what's going on when you ride down Euclid, especially when you get to Superior, near your place, Brandon King, going west, they're gobbling up land down, tearing. That's where all the tearing down is going down. They're moving. They're not waiting on you. So we got to do something. You know, Saki, Rashid, I value you guys' opinion. Unless we come up with something now, we're history. Okay, right. Well, we got to do something. So I'm requesting that you guys sit down and talk with me, or talk with anybody. But I'm concerned. I've been praying on this thing. I've been talking to so many people about this situation. Coy Bush, we got to do something. We don't have the money. It's past point to blaming anybody. Okay, recalls are not the answer. We need money. We need revenue, or we're not going to be around. In Harlem, give you a good example. They start building. Everything was sky high. You can't recognize it. The black folks ain't there no more.
That's right.
And it's going to happen here.
Right.
If we don't do something right now, they're going to gobble up, and then where you paying $300-400 in rent, it's going to go sky high. Circle East, for example, which they built, which they had a lot to do with. The rent is $1,500. So everything's going to go sky high. They're going to price you out. So we got to do something. We got to come up with solutions. I was in the meeting Saturday at the library, and they got mad at me because I said, what are the solutions? We got to come up with solutions, or we're history. We're history. We're history. And get back to Michael O'Malley. Too much of us are prosecuted and over-prosecuted by the county prosecutors. Okay? It was a miracle that he won. The black vote got him in. So he's going to be held accountable. We're going to have a reception and all like that. If you don't vote, you don't count. Too often we take our vote for granted, Sakid and Rashid, but this time the black vote made a difference. 137 shots up there at Heritage Middle School. Tamir Rice, okay? Your vote does make a difference. And that's why the East Cleveland Democratic Club exists. So come out, okay? Whatever they do up there at McGregor, our situation is economic. It's beyond passing the finger at anybody now. We got to do something. So if you got some solutions, call me. I am working on some things right now. Like, he did say something that I agree with. We should have started on this 2 years ago. Okay. I sit down. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We got to do something. Or we're going to be history.
Amen.
Brother Jones, we're going to be history. Thank you. Okay.
You know, I'm glad to see all of you coming out and sitting here in the heat right now, getting overheated, and you're sharing your concerns. And this is where you're supposed to lay out your concerns. This is where we, the leadership, should be listening.
Thank you.
We should be acting. And I get kind of upset sometimes when my former colleague, Mr. Joei, shakes his finger and chastises us. But sometimes you need to put us back on point, because sometimes we stray from the middle to the side. But I'm sorry that the little minister left. She has a history and her family has a history. The Pinckney family has been here a long time. But I know we're talking about buildings, and I had told my colleagues about, everybody knows about Detroit and how they went into bankruptcy. But one of the things that and I pulled all this off the internet the other week, one of the things, and I know Mr. Joei is not going to agree with, but they're saying that sometimes the abandoned, foreclosed city space adjacent to owners, they sold it regardless if it was billable or unbillable for $100. They let you come in and claim a house, and you had about 6 months to get it up to par.
That's the key.
They have made small, mini parks. You don't have to worry about the parks because the parks are many. And it's a land bank program. All these things are happening. Also, I wanted to say that when the minister was talking about foreclosure and all of that, and people doing this and that, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to sit down. Well, I'm already sitting down. But someone was trying to make an issue of Consul Thomas. And the issue was that Consul Thomas was a slum landlord and had a house on, one of the streets down there. Pardon? Savannah. I'm sorry. Savannah. And, my colleague is always calling my full name. Barbara Jean Thomas. Okay? There is another Barbara Jean Thomas.
Okay.
Real talk.
Yes.
Can I finish this? And y'all want to hear this?
Yes.
So this lady's name is Barbara Jean Thomas. And she owes $12,000 in back taxes.
Oh my goodness.
Now the person that gave me the 411 is saying they trying to slander you and make you look like this. And my fellow residents, I fight for you, but I can fight for myself just as hard. So I went down to the prosecutor's office. I don't have much faith in the judicial system at all. But I called them, and they went and they looked. Do you know that this woman?
Time, Bob. Councilwoman.
Can I just say that?
Finish up, because it's after
Okay. Well, nobody else said that, but I'm gonna say this. This woman owns that property down there, owes $12,000 worth of taxes, and she lives in Maple Heights. And that's what happens, because I went down to the community development, and he said I can't touch it. They're gonna tear that house down for nothing. But Barbara Thomas was getting her name's gonna be slandered and everything because somebody wanted to get me. But she not only owns that house, she owns 3 or 4 houses. And we can't do nothing about it because we don't have the money. That's what he told me. We don't have the money to do anything. So they're going to tear the house down, the property going to sit there, and we sitting up here talking about what's the solution. You need to go after people like that.
Exactly.
And people that live in other cities that are owned property in our
Thank you. I'd like to have one.
Each ward got to do it.
Councilwoman Graham.
Okay, thank you, Council Chair. I do want to say that one thing that I keep hearing all of these issues, just to piggyback on what you're saying as far as things that we should do, enforcing our building codes, enforcing curfew, you realize that because we just cut 4 firefighters, I believe, part-time, that our resources are very limited. So now, in my ward, and what I'm trying to do, and I'm still trying to get around and meet people and get out there, because, you know, I have a lot of jobs as well. And I'm a lifelong resident of the city, but it's not going to start from the top. It's going to start from the bottom. It's going to start with us, one by one, house by house, each piece of litter or whatever that we pick up. So information equals power, all right? And the type of information we get has to be transparent. It has to be accurate. Now, a lot of us don't know the merger process. Hasn't gotten out there to the residents. A lot of us don't know what the city finances are. We don't know about the resident volunteer opportunities such as The Voice, where the children are getting involved. We haven't really heard any alternative plans given by the mayor, or his 5-year strategy, or anything like that. And it seems as though we've been in a systematic decline for a while. Some people can say that it was purposefully done. Some people will say it's just happened by chance or whatever. I don't believe in coincidence. But one thing I do know is that information is power. Now, Ms. Topher, you say that you didn't want to be pimped. You don't like to be pimped, right?
No, I don't.
Okay. And I feel like false information that goes out to the public inadvertently is a pimp. You're pimping information, you're pimping the public. Anytime you outright lie about anything, any situation in this city and distort the facts, anytime you lie about any representative or anybody in the city on purpose without the benefit of the interview and giving false information, it's counterproductive to what we need. Now, people want to know, why do we need this channel? We need this channel because we need information out there. Now, this channel, anyone can go to the city council office, and I'm not behind who the players are. I'm behind in what the outcome will be. Now, if we know that we can get a channel that will give public access, access to city council and the administration, and when you look at that contract and it's spelled out and that's the contract that we're going to adopt, that is a win-win for the city. The schools are able to do that and have their own access channel, but when you have a blog site out there purposefully distorting information to the residents,
But some of that
And
information
mix-
is coming from
You know,
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Pat.
well, I'm going to go on to say it is that, you know, and you stated that you felt that, you know, somebody came after you and slandered, and the same thing's happening to residents or people, politicians, or I'm not a politician, don't feel like I'm a politician, I'm just in this arena. I have one foot in, one foot out, because I was just sitting over there with you all. So my interest is for the city, my kids, and everything else. But when you have something out there, such as 44112 News, distorting information, or retelling it, or slandering, or putting false information out, we do need a public access channel. And as far as how that's going to get paid for, that's something that I do not want to see come out, and we can get that done, and someone's going to give that to the city. Like you said, don't stare a gift horse in the mouth. Or, I mean, I don't see why that should be a problem. But I do want to say that this is a win-win for the city, getting accurate information out there. If people knew about the merger, knew what the steps were, then we wouldn't have residents saying to us, how is the mayor going to negotiate the merger? The mayor's not going to negotiate the merger. We know that there will be a 3-person panel that's taken, but see, a lot of that information hasn't been given, and these council meetings aren't going to give you all the information. So that's all I have to say about that.
Well, we can't have
Thank you.
It's it's not, the process is not gonna give you answer all your questions, is what I'm saying.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Right, the young man who received the Bill and Melinda Gates Scholarship, undergrad, grad, post-grad, awesome. Good job to the school board. Please turn out more residents, students like that. I'd like to thank Voices and Walter Milton for being a good neighbor ambassador, and I'd like to keep encouraging. Please, it's still our city. We gotta help each other. Food Bank 3 to 5 Friday. That's Power program. See you next time. Thank you.
You all, I listened tonight. I made some little, who knows. But, you know, one thing is, I want to speak on dumping. That's not white folks coming in our neighborhood dumping. That's us dumping. They're dumping in the middle of the streets. This is ridiculous. If you see a truck coming down in the city, coming through the city, they got a whole bunch of trash on the back, take a picture of it. So at least we'll know, you know, because he's not passing through, he's dropping off. And it's to the point that people talk about us, we go at each other about this, that, and the other, and they dump it right in our own backyard. They do it in the front yard. So,
That's a shame.
it's really, that's what they think of that's what they think of our city. That's what they think of you.
No respect.
Now, this is something that's been going on for years. You all know the light poles. We were talking about the light. Do you know if the light is out on your street, we still pay the bill? They estimate a bill, and you pay that bill whether the light is off or on. We still pay that bill.
Yeah.
So all the poles that are down there are out. The
Yeah.
city's still paying for it.
Yeah.
That's we can't afford that. If it's not out, we don't need to pay.
We're paying it.
So that's food for thought. Also, I want to go back to this video stuff.
On your taxes, and
The state had a consulting firm come in and do some work for us, for the city. They took the information that we gave them in the study that was done by from Case or something. They took the study that was already done, flipped it around, put their name on it, and the state paid $125,000 on our behalf.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, they got another firm, it's an accounting firm, they want to pay them $30,000 because they came in all the books. So they'd rather see them get $30,000 for all in the books than to pay $20,000 for you to know what's going on. They say we don't have the money to do this, that, and the other, but they got money to pay the accounting firm $30,000 out of our money. That's a problem.
Can't y'all give it to us?
That's a mandate.
Who paid it?
So it comes, the state pays it. They just take it out of our money before our money comes out. The recall. Look, like me, just like me, it doesn't matter. It costs $15,000. You're going to spend it a second time again. I'm not going to make every decision that you all like. This is a tough spot to be in. I call Rashid, I talk to Mr. Holmes outside sometimes, and we may not see eye to eye. But the point of the matter is, I want to vote. Corey's concern may be a little bit different than Rashid's concern. But everybody has a concern. It's not personal, but it's personal as far as the feeling for the city, because I think all of us in here love the city. If not, we would be at home at 9:30 at night. So all I say is, once again, bear with us as we go through these trying times. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I know I'm fighting to save our city the best that I can. Everybody have a good evening. Let me have a motion. Motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor says aye. Aye. Vote to meeting done. Adjourned. 9:27.
Let's get together. Saki.